Good morning, everybody. We're on our way to Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. I'm going to drive right straight over 92 to Highway 1 and then up to Golden Gate Park. The view along the coast should be foggy and stuff like that, but still, no matter what weather you get along the coast, it always looks beautiful. So I have like 7 different ways that I go to San Francisco, and this is the prettiest one, even though it's not the one that's got the strongest cell connection all the time. So right around where the Devil's Slide area used to be, they built that tunnel to make sure that the road stays open now. And I suspect that, as pretty as that is, we're not going to capture that live, but we'll see. kids keep that up, I'm going to have to throw you out. If you stay good, in about 5 minutes, I'll give you all a milkshake. I always find bribing them with sugar always helps until the sugar kicks in. That's usually when I give them back to the parents. So good morning, everybody, and good morning, Joe. I saw that you were with me almost from the beginning. I decided to stay quiet because it was such a beautiful drive. Man, the fog is making it all coasty, and it reminds me that my favorite time in California is the winter time, but I gotta be careful because I still do love the summers. Ah, heck, every day is beautiful. Pretty soon the pumpkins will start showing up in the fields. Right now it's still all greeny, leafy kind of stuff out there. You don't really see the little orange balls yet. So, I'm taking one of my 7 different ways into San Francisco this morning, this being my favorite. The only problem is that I suspect that my phone's going to drop out quite a bit, which means that there'll be interruptions in this drive. But if it holds up around Devil's Point where the tunnels are, it seems to me that they would have put cellular antennas inside that area, and I'll be curious to see if I can give you a tunnel drive. But that's a pretty little tunnel. It's a new concept. I've seen it a lot in Europe. And then once I get to Golden Gate Park, I'll be going over to Spreckles Lake, and Spreckles Lake is where our San Francisco Model Yacht Club lives. And today they're having a power fishing boat model regatta thing. So I'll end this live stream when I get there. Then I'll start another live stream after I say hello to everybody and televise that event. And not knowing how that's going to go, I haven't seen these guys in a year or two, so I got a lot of explaining to do. But once I get that all taken care of, if it looks like the event is starting to break up, then I will take another one of my ways into the city in the reverse back towards home. So today's a video day for sure. I have all my batteries charged up, so I'm good to go. I can stop at the McDonald's, but there are better places. If I went downtown Half Moon Bay, there's, Rachel and I call it Mavericks, but it's Half Moon Bay Brewing Company, and well, the name says it all, Brewing Company, but they have wonderful mocktails in there that are better than any milkshake you're going to get. Local traffic on Sunday morning. So just open up your little Ziploc bag and eat your Cheerios. I'll tell you what, John, just for you, I will deviate from my course and do a drive by the brewing company, the little teeny scenic town. I wish I could remember the name of it. Anyway, once I drive through there, I'll come out on the other side by the airport, then get back on one. For not hitting your sister, I'll reward you with the drive-by. Okay, roll all the windows down. I'm going to put it into ludicrous. Once I get it up to 145 miles an hour, the Cheerios will blow out the windows. Just in time for some of the Oktoberfests. I don't know if you're getting in on the early part. Rachel and I have already got tickets for Oktoberfest. I'm going to not live stream it, but I am going to capture images and then I'll just edit it and then I'll be posting that. But October is Rachel's birthday month, so it's how we celebrate the coming of the holidays and winter. In May, when my birthday happens, and we start doing the reverse celebration of getting out and running around. So nice. Welcome back, guys. Where'd you go? You know, we went past the metal sculptures already, and there's a new one. They did a stagecoach with 2 horses. Oh, you need a piece of property for that one. It would take half your driveway. You know, it's like a big, like a big van in size. That one is really a surprise when we saw it. Yeah, just save your questions until we get back into the stronger area. Not sure what this thing is in front of us. It's got 3 exhaust pipes. It's got kind of strange cooling. I guess it's a Lexus or something. It says LFA on it. Whatever LFA. I'll get a little closer here. Huh. Looking at the back of that, it reminds me I gotta change my air filters on my house AC system. You know, John, I'm kind of forgetting the fun that I used to have around you. I like your thinking. Sam's up here. It's a big tourist place. It is what it is. But, you know, they do make a good clam chowder soup. They do have nice things on the menu. Rachel and I will pop in there. They make nice mocktails or real drinks, whatever you want. But there's one thing that I want to tell you, that if you do go in there, they have a dessert, and you would probably ignore it because it's like a soft serve ice cream cone, you know, like that Frosty's ice cream. So it's a soft serve ice cream in a cup, but they do something to it that makes it taste like salty caramel. And what it is that they drizzle a little bit of olive oil on it, a very nice, great olive oil. and then they sprinkle it with sea salt. And that combination on the ice cream, the ladies love it. So if you take your wife in there, just order the soft serve ice cream with the oil and the salt on there, and then just say, try it. I'll guarantee you she likes it. And then down here over on the left, down inside there, is Catch Joni's restaurant and stuff like that. We haven't explored those, but those are the restaurants that we're going to try next. And then over here on the right, just past the fish trap, is our favorite restaurant. You would come here for like a sunset. You can sit outside. They have fire pits. In fact, here it is right now, the brewing company. And people are even sitting out there right now. So I'm slowing down so you can kind of see that. I'm telling you, at sunset, you do want to be there and have your favorite beer or something like that. You have all these other wonderful places to check out. Once you park your car, you just walk. This Italian restaurant, I've been told I need to go in there. This is the one on the left. Never have I made it, but you go in there and they've got cloth tables, napkins. So I would suspect that you can't wear your flip-flops and your wife beater shirts. You're gonna have to probably put on a sleeve shirt and look nice when you go in there. But I am telling you, if you're going to spend a little time here, there's also one more place to go, and that's just down the road here a little bit. It's Most Distillery. It's the old bootlegger place from back in the 30s and stuff. They also have a wonderful sunset spot where they have these kind of homemade couches. They're like wooden benches, and they cover them in blankets, and they also fire up the fire pits, and it's dog friendly. So if you have a dog, you take your dog in there with you too, and it's just a short walk into the restaurant to get yourself your beverages. They'll deliver, but it's slow service. It's the whole point of being out there. You're not being rushed, so you do your own thing. I see a teepee off on the right. I've not seen that. That must be for their kids. Fresh produce, the airport here on the left. We just had about a month ago the event called Dream Machines. It's a one-day event where they bring basically all the boy toys out here. Steam tractors, hit and miss engines, motorcycles, tractors. I'm not sure they'll take an 8-year-old boy unless you have a muzzle guard on him so he doesn't bite the furniture. But other than that, I'm sure they'll let him in. So, we're coming up on the Most Distillery. You probably have been there, but if you haven't, or if you've forgotten, another place to go for sunsets where you're sitting around the fire and having a iced tea or something in a appetizer kind of dinner or whatever it is you want to do there. You'll love it. You should love it. You ought to love it. Let's put it that way. Yeah. Most Distillery, historic, right there. They start serving lunch at 12 o'clock, so I was able to scoop that information out for you. So far we've only had one dropout, and I'm actually amazed because my phone would have dropped out 3 or 4 times, but I've got this Nighthawk M1 hotspot in the back of the car here. It's plugged into the cigarette lighter back there. And I have the ability to tell it to send a stronger signal. It eats up the power, but it's plugged into the cigarette lighter. So it's like, no, it's perfect for what I want it for. I don't know, the camera that I'm looking at, I'm seeing it at 1440, and I'm suspecting that 720 would be awesome if you're seeing that, but it's probably down to 440 or something like that, or even pixelated. But you're getting the idea anyway. Coffee house. Papa wants a cup of coffee. I'll wait. Thanks for the update. This restaurant here, I haven't gone to it yet. La Castanera or whatever it's called, but there's always a pack of cars around it when it's open. And this is up here again in the surfer area. Yeah, well, that's the Model T that has the siren. I used to like it when Rachel would give me a ride and she goes, "You want the siren?" And I go, "Oh yeah, please." So she would hit it once in a while. That was kind of fun, doing a little ride along. All right, there are surfers out there, but these are sleepy little rollers, so they must be anticipating some waves coming in soon. And then I see a couple of guys, you know, a guy and a gal, I think, up there on top of that hill. There looks like there's a bench up there. So if you're into hiking, there's a heck of a view. On a clear day, you should see the Fairlawns. Also, there's a remnant of a world 80 years. The sand is slowly melted away, exposing the cement structure. Okay, welcome back. Yeah, that structure is off to the left now. You're not going to get a view of it, but it's just before the tunnels here that we're getting ready to go into. So it's a hiking destination thing, but it's what's left of a, like I say, gotta honk the horn in the tunnel. Well, this is a treat. I'm glad to know that this works. Yeah, even the radio doesn't work when you're in there after about halfway. Ah, well, you got to see it. Wow. I am driving on fresh paved asphalt. You know how smooth and quiet this is? I guess the Democrats want to get reelected this year, so they don't want anyone complaining that California has bad roads. Pacifica. I love that movie because I love Highway 66. I've driven Highway 66 from Illinois all the way to LA in the Model T, and we took there's well, you got to have a special map to find most of the old sections of Route 66, and a lot of them are abandoned, so you can go there and then kind of sniff out maybe some cement patches that were part of it, but they refer to it as the 1924 section, the 1933 section, the 1936 section, but Cars does a nice job of picking up all the highlights of Route 66. So, John, I'm kind of catching here that you don't mind fast food. Yeah, there are sections of Route 66 that even now when I go back, I literally get off the highway to drive through it because it's just incredible. And the old town's making a resurgence into fixing up old hotels and putting them back to the day, even replacing the neon with new neon. Carsland. I went to where they have all the Cadillacs, the Cadillac Ranch or whatever, stuck in the ground, and I think Carsland is similar to that. So now that we're over here in Pacifica, on the right, it's a boxcar, and they also have a caboose in this area, but that's a barbecue spot. Great place to grab a little barbecue and then keep it wrapped up and go to the beach. So, was it Gorilla Barbecue? I don't know if you've tried that. And there's the caboose that we just went by. Of course, the camera isn't catching that. Oh, Disneyland. Oh, darn, yeah, Carsland. I have not. I haven't been to Disneyland in 20 years. I'm not even sure that Adventureland that used to be the parking lot was even there when I was there last. Yeah, I think the network did do something. Was it Bobby or whatever, or some other guy that drives around? So, but now that they're doing that Star Wars setup at Disneyland, I'm kind of like, I was going to go this year if I had a chance, but decided to put it off until they get done building everything. I mean, right now there's such a makeover going on at Disneyland. It's amazing. Wow, all new asphalt through here too. This is huge. This was a real rough section. $395. Yeah, Tom Correa and I did that in the Model T. We ended up starting out in Lancaster, and then went up $395 to Lone Pine and up there, but then we ended up cutting over to Nevada and ended up in Ely. But I've been the other way. In fact, there's a video on my YouTube account where after I got done at Lake Tahoe, I went to South Shore, and I went down the backside into Nevada and then east a little bit till I grabbed 395 and went south down to Gardnerville, maybe. And then that's Highway 85 that allows you to start going west to Highway 4 and then gets you into Arnold and then Angels Camp. So I knew I couldn't videotape it like this, so I actually recorded it and then I spliced it. And I have that on my, like I say, my YouTube account. And that area back there had gone through a forest fire, but I kind of edited out a lot of that and kept it looking as nice as a lot of people would remember. Well, yeah, you gotta go to Disneyland not like a tourist or a vacationer. You gotta do it as a retired person. There are the slowest times of year, which could even be like December, and not around the holiday. And then you do your Monday or Tuesday, or like Tuesday or Wednesday, I think I heard is a good time. So you get in there on your off times, and it would be great. Back when we used to stay at the Saddleback Inn for our schooling back there at the 4000 and all the other stuff that I got trained there. You'd be there for like 4 weeks, and I would go over to Disneyland and buy a season pass, and then I could go to literally Disneyland 5 times a week. There was always somebody at school that wanted to go, and I would just stick out my thumb and go for a ride. So I think during that 4000 I ended up going like 20 times to Disneyland. It was great. You would find rides that nobody would want to take that just made it really peaceful and stuff. So I ended up literally trying to do every single ride in that place. Yeah, 88, that's what it is. I have to put my fog lights on. The camera shows it as being a lot clearer than what my eyes actually see. So for a while there, it was easier to drive looking at the camera. Autotopia, here we go. Follow that car. I've got, well, I'll read this. AT&T is the cell provider, or the towers that hotspot connects to. I'm using NetBuddy SIM card in there, and it's unlimited and unthrottled. And my phone is connected to Verizon, and it's almost a 12-year-old plan. It's unlimited and unthrottled, and they certainly have tempted me with every offer in the world to get rid of it. But I knew that sometime I was going to be burning up gigabytes, and right now I'm almost using 100 gigabytes a month on my phone alone without the hotspot. So I'm right now really taking advantage of the unlimited. Let's see, what was I referring to? Was it Disneyland? No. Anyway, I started to talk about something else there, and I'm having my senior moment. But just like everything, like a merry-go-round, you just wait long enough and it usually comes back by. So this fog is not upsetting me at all. I love it. It's a season. It's the coldest winter I ever experienced was a summer in San Francisco, this is what they're talking about. And we're going to go by Fort Funston here in a little bit, and that's where all the hang glider guys take off. And I'm sure they're all standing around right now waiting. And you know, I'm going to say not all of them. If there's any breeze that allows them to go, they'll go. But I've often gone in there and just spent an hour or so just watching those guys come in for their landings, do their takeoffs. When they fly by, you can holler hello at them and they'll, you know, talk back. They don't really have to holler. You can hear them pretty clear. Yeah, I did on that cell plan, but you know, nothing's for nothing. But it's worth it. Yeah, if we want to have warmer weather, all we do is go to Livermore. For example, Pleasanton is having their Scottish games here pretty soon, and I've already got all my tickets. I bought my tickets for the Scotch tastings. I've got my tickets for the grandstands, so that I'll be sitting, you know, like a protected box of some sort. I don't know. In the past, we were just standing down below, and I thought those guys, they did it right. They ordered their tickets early enough to where they had reserved seats. So that's who I am this year as far as going to the Scottish games. Yeah, this is sort of another expected breakup. This is kind of where they have the golf tournaments at the Olympic Club, where I'm at right at the moment. So because it's a golf course, they don't put cell towers around it. Nobody talking out here. That's the entrance to it right there. Man, that parking lot where the glider guys are, it's packed. They are going to celebrate flying as quick as they can. Just over that green fence, that's the San Francisco Police Department shooting range. It was sort of featured in that Dirty Harry movie where he walked through a little western town with pop-up characters. It ain't like that. They built that strictly for the movie, but it is a very modernized range. It's pretty awesome. I was able to go down there a couple of times and watch Rachel qualify. Well, I'm glad you're back. Tell me what you didn't hear. Oh, man. Anyway, I was just saying, if you didn't hear it, and you should know it, the Fort Funston Flyers over there, that parking lot is packed. It's like almost standing room only. Not so much that they're actually flying this second, but they are active. And if you're looking for a drive to kind of like see a little of that on your vacation, that would be well worth an hour. We got surfers and waves. Yeah, the waves are starting to come in where they were sleepy a little while ago. San Francisco Zoo, the backside. And this big cement structure is the sewer treatment pump that takes everything way out about a mile and then sends it down to LA. These lights are timed at 34 miles an hour. So you come down here to go to the park or the Cliff House or the Beach Chalet restaurant. Yeah, if you just put your cruise control at 34, you should be able to hit them all. Bingo. Yeah, I could, but you see, running the yellow light is something I would have done when I was a working man. But now that I'm retired, I got all the time in the world. Awesome. Actually, the car's driving itself. Yep. Now it's steering itself too. Yeah, it's nice sitting in the captain's chair and letting the helmsman drive the car. Are you retired yet? I'm thinking that you're one of those guys that's going to work like Forrest Bullhall. I think he's still working, and he's got to be 72. When I was retiring at 36 years, I called him to see if he was going to retire, and he said, no, I want to go to 40. And apparently he's done 45 at this point, maybe even 47, so it's like, whoa. I guess he really wants to get those little tie stickers with the rubies and diamonds in it. You know, you could just go to the Xerox website and buy those things. You don't actually have to earn them. Alright, so this is the beginning of Lincoln Highway, which is part of the original Lincoln Highway that went all the way to the East Coast. And I've driven some of that with my Model T, the lovely windmill there. Over to the left by the Cliff House is also Lincoln Park, which is named after the Lincoln Highway. Officially in the park. Yeah, it won't last long. In fact, it'll go by a little too quick. And I've often tried to remind people, do not wish your life away. You know, it's like, I loved my job until they made it so I didn't. But up until then, it was great. And 35 years, yeah, see? Awesome, man. So you're gonna pass me, because when I left at 36, I literally got 36 years and 3 months, I think, something like that. And I'll tell you what, with that information and knowledge, it won't even get you a cup of coffee. Nobody cares, but I do. And the odd time where you're at a gathering or a party or something and you bring it up, people go, wow, you know. But yeah, again, I'm standing here without a cup of coffee. No, I was amazed that it actually lasted as long as it did. I mean, there was so many threats and fears that it was going to be bought out and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, anyway, at least I knew that I had a lucky time. If I was going to be trying to do a job career now, the IRS, you and I really need to sit down with a beer, and I'd be more than willing to listen to you about all this stuff. I pick up a lot of information from Johnny Gaddis, who might even be here today. I don't know. But when I start listening to how they start tracking you from like 6 o'clock in the morning to make sure that, you know, things are going on, there were reasons why I sometimes wasn't at a customer site at 8 o'clock, because the part that I was waiting for the machine that I wanted to fix that was in the area I was going to wasn't coming in until the 8:15 delivery. So anyway, all kinds of deals. But I think I would probably, if I was a young guy, try to get on with Tesla, because like Xerox, they're going to be all over the place. So once you have a job, you can move and still have that job. And if Musk doesn't kill the company, it should be one of those companies that it's going to be around forever. And if that's the case, like I say, you can grow within the company. You know, I don't know exactly what I would lean towards, but originally I was a draftsman, and I never really learned CAD. But if I had learned CAD, that would allow me to, you know, get involved with that sort of stuff. And I don't know, I mumble. So a little known secret is, if I turn right at that stoplight, I go into where the horse barns are, and that's where you'll find the police horses. So straight ahead is a couple of guys walking. They got their radios in their hand and little boats. So those are the guys that I'm here to see. Guys unloading their chairs. This building in the front is our clubhouse. I've got the keys for it. I got a couple of boats inside there. And that was built back when the president created those jobs to put people to work. So the park here had a lot of that stuff going on. And now the city allows our club to use it. So there's two little buildings on the sides. Those are the restrooms. The men are on the right and the ladies are on the left. But that whole section in the middle there, that's where we keep all our boats. And if you look through the windows on the right of the door, there's kind of like two triangles that you might sort of see there that are white. well, those are sails to a sailboat. Those are our bigger sailboats, and they are parked up there by the window. And mine is parked in more of the middle of the floor. Jim Harrison, I got girl. Oh, your average start time. Yeah, see, I don't know. Exactly. But see, they don't reward you anymore for having your territory dialed in. In fact, I had a manager that would take me out of my territory and put me in other people's territory to try to get them caught up on their PMs. But nobody was taking care of my PMs. And so my territory would end up in the toilet and then take another 3 months to dig myself back out of that. So, yeah, back when I first hired on, they gave you a ring binder, a little black book, and all your customers were in there. So if you did your PM a day, it kept an EM away type of thing, and so if you got all caught up, you could actually relax and get back to a customer to tweak it and go over to another machine and say, you know, when I had a little extra time, I wanted to change that part and not be under the gun, and then start writing with another technician. So for years, writing with other technicians was the reward for keeping your territory up. All right. Well, John, I think I'm going to hit the finish button, but I will be having more stuff popping up throughout the day here, especially when I start taking pictures of the boats. I don't know how big this thing is going to be. This in itself is not the big day. We have, I'm going to say a 122nd year celebration coming up in another 3 or 4 weeks. We only do it every 2 years, and it's all our club boats. It's standing room only. People will be standing around the lake, like 2-3 rows of people looking over each other's shoulders to watch the boats. And I actually have a model that's 11.5 feet long and 6 feet high at the waterline. I paid $12,000 for it, and I had to go to Kentucky to get it. And I took a buddy with me, and it almost cost me $5,000 in food and motels and stuff to go and get it and come back, and gas and stuff. But so anyway, I actually sailed that here, and I have that on my YouTube site. So one of these afternoons, I'll try to grab a couple of those links of the stuff that we talked about here and shoot it to you so that you can actually see that part of it. But I'm planning on coming here with Rachel during the big boat event, and so today was to walk in and talk to these guys about why I haven't been here for a little while, and get all that awkwardness out of the way so that it's just pure fun the next time I come here. Thanks, buddy. It's always a nice trip when you have someone going along. You can go pee now. Ah, I didn't know I could do that. I thought, what does that button do? So it makes it look like I'm driving an English car. I'm sitting on the wrong side. I'll be darned. All right. Have a good one. Signing out.